Hey guys, welcome back once again to our YouTube channel, and today we're going to talk about money. Actually, we're talking about what we've learned about finances so far. Yeah, when we talk about finances, we keep on learning and learning daily. Yeah, it's a process which I don't think anyone gets there because you keep on learning and learning the way I've said. So yeah, one thing I've learned about money, you must get broke.
Brokenness is inevitable.
Yeah, and brokenness doesn't mean that you don't have any cash on you. You can be having that cash, but maybe
it has another purpose.
It has another purpose. Yeah. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So stay tuned, and for the returning subscribers, thank you so much. For the new subscribers,
karibu sana.
Kikombe chai.
Next time naleta thermos na chai.
So on to our first point, we're going to talk about so far what you learned about savings. Maybe Christopher can take us through what she's learned about savings. First of all, are you saving?
I could talk about a lot. When it comes to saving, I could really talk about a lot, because sometimes the intent and the ability to save are two different things. You may want to save, but your current situation does not allow you to save. And also, since we're talking about finances and sources of finances, I would like to say if how do I put this without triggering people to do something wrong? If your current job doesn't allow you to save,
there's that.
It should probably be a reason why you reconsider it, because if you're just running on a job, yes, kuna investment that job might give you in the long run, like it helps you advance your career, nini. But if you're just there, just doing the basics, unable to save, it might really frustrate you. So that's something I've learned about saving so far. And another thing about savings is putting it in a place where you can't access it. You will create an emergency out of something that's not an emergency. I personally know how you can create an emergency, because sometimes umeenda supermarket, you are going to get, say, let's put it in perspective, unga ya ugali at 150. You get to the supermarket, you start picking stuff. You start picking impulse buying. You start picking stuff, suddenly you're taking choku, you're taking sijui what, and then in your mind you're like, this is an emergency, I need to pull stuff from my Mshwari or something and like pay for this. So you need to put your savings in a place where you can't access it like that easily. Yes, sometimes you might, because sometimes you save for a specific purpose. For example, emergency fund. If you're saving for an emergency fund, you do need to, it needs to be easily accessible, say in a day or two. But your aspect yati, if I just want to buy at a credo, so you know, like sina credo, I need to call someone. Then you buy it into finance in your savings. That's a recipe for disaster. So I'd say those are the things I've learned so far about savings.
I think personally, what Christopher has mentioned is really essential, and I'd just like to add on it. So she's talked about some jobs won't allow you to save, but I'd say saving doesn't matter like how much you're earning. I can be earning 100 bob, but just save 1 bob.
It's about how much you put away.
Yeah, it's about how much you put away. So don't put yourself in a situation where you're struggling, but at least save something small, because at the end of the day it will come in really handy. And also, what I've learned about saving, have multiple saving avenues, a lot of them. Yeah, like for us, we do chamas. Yeah, chama is a form of saving. Also have in the bank, maybe one savings account in the bank and another lock savings account in a circle. Yeah, the reason why I'm saying this, you should have a lock savings for the reasons why Christopher mentioned that. I also have now a flexible savings account that just in case of an emergency, you can
access the funds.
You can access those funds.
If it's an emergency fund.
If it's an emergency fund. Also, what else? And just save. Just try as much as you can to save some little money. It can be weekly, monthly, daily it's all about you and what you earn and maybe what you're working towards. People save towards different things. Maybe some are saving to build a house, to buy an apartment,
To invest.
Yeah, to invest. So just try as much as you can to save something small. Yeah, depending on your flexibility. Yeah.
I think okay, I had a point about savings but kama nimesahau. So let's move on to investment. I hope I'll remember it.
Yeah. On to investments. Yeah. I think okay, you shouldn't just save.
Yeah. Saving aimlessly.
Especially if you're saving from the bank like myself, haina that much interest. It's just like the bank is keeping the money safe for you. And also maybe you cannot misuse it and all that. So try to, okay, as much as you save, try to look for investments. And there's many forms of investments, though, okay, I'm still trying to look for one, but I've not figured out which one yet. But yeah, as much as it's not like
Circle.
Yeah, circle. There's another one. Okay, money market, money market one.
Something that gives you interest for your work. Though recently I've had people complaining that money market, you find that the interest you're being paid is so small, such that it's not making sense. Especially with inflation, this is why we discourage just saving, just putting money away. With inflation, if my father saved 100 bob a few years ago, right now that 100 bob doesn't do much for them. Yeah, especially with interest, 1% per annum or something, 3% per annum. It doesn't really do much for you.
Okay, and also a friend talked to me about, is it government bonds? So, okay, I don't know if
though government bonds require like almost a minimum of like 100k.
Okay, people have the 100k. That's why I'm just suggesting to them, if you can afford it, research on it, then maybe you can venture into it. Yeah, so I'm just giving alternatives to investments. You scratch where you can get. Unajikuna
mali unafikia, bro.
Yeah.
I've remembered the point I wanted to say about savings. Savings isn't always the whole time about I have 100 bob, I'm supposed to save 100 bob. So in my mentality, I already know that I'm saving 100 bob, out of that 200 bob. But savings can also be I'd planned to take the nduthi from stage to my house today, and I decided to walk instead. So instead of spending that money on my ndichoma, you can decide to save it. That's also a form of saving, cutting down on your costs.
I'd planned to cook chapati today, but
with the price of mafuta, I think it's a complaint about mafuta hadi shuke, bro.
Ugali skuma
simbaya by the way. Yeah. I think in terms of saving, you can also consider time relative to money, because like the whole chapo and ugali skuma example, it kind of helps with deciding what takes less time from you, so that you can get more time to do other things if you have a lot to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Are you done with investment? Exhausted your points on
investment? Oh, I hadn't put a lot into investment.
Oh, also,
there's this quote I read somewhere, which is a personal shade to myself. Most of the time you're like, I want to invest in this and this and this and that. Over the years, I've really discovered that I'm putting a lot of my money in business.
I want to talk about that.
The reason I'm putting it in quotes is because I haven't managed to start making profits or constantly run business based on the investment that I'm making. So there was a meme that was like, if you're not making any profit or any money from your business, it's just an expensive hobby. It's not a business, it's an expensive hobby. Because personally, let me talk about myself. I'll go buy things like sunnies because I have a vision of a styling business. So I'll go buy sunnies and I'm like, I'm gonna sell these ones. Then they all end up being mine, or giving them to my friends, or selling them to a few people. But now you see, I'm not even breaking even, I'm not making profit. So that becomes a liability, becomes a very expensive hobby rather than an investment.
Okay, to add on that, I think okay, also business is an investment.
Yeah.
And I always tell my friends, in life we have to take risks. Okay, don't just sit down. As much as you have thought about an idea and you just in your head you just like it will work out. So just take that risk, because if it works out, You'll go home.
Good for you.
Yeah, you'll go in the bank smiling. But if it doesn't, just assume, hey, you lost that money. I've had people have lost close to 100,000. So at least where you invested and you learned something. So don't feel bad about it. And also in business, it can either fail or pick up. Or fail. After 2 years, it picks up. So it's a matter of persistence and
patience as well.
So don't, and also saving money in a bank, everything you do is just a risk. With your money, everything that involves money,
everything in life is a risk.
Everything in life is just a risk. So
I can tell hi Veli and she doesn't jibu me and then I get hurt and then I start having depressive episode. It was a risk saying hi to her. That's how.
Yeah. So everything in life is just take that risk. Anyway, it won't harm. Okay, it can harm you when you lose the money, but also when you lose the money, it will give you the motivation to look for more money. So yeah. Okay, on to the next point is also keep track of your daily expenditure. Okay, and Christopher will tell us how she does it.
Keeping track of your daily expenditure. Hey. There's healthy and unhealthy ways to do it. I think there's a time I used to walk around with a small notebook. Actually, my aunt used to chongoa me because I'd walk around with like a small notebook like this size. Like that's not even A6. I don't know what size that is. Like a small size that fits in the palm of your hand. And a pen. So I'd walk around with such a notebook and then Nico like, not pin pop, 10 bob. You know, that helped me. But then to a certain extent, it helped me realize, oh my God, I'm spending a lot of transaction. Oh my God, I'm spending a lot on biting things on the road. Oh my God, I'm spending a lot on things I'm not planned to spend on. So it helped me, but it was a sort of unhealthy way to do it. So in terms of tracking your daily expenses,
okay, can I respond on something? Okay, what is unhealthy for you might not be unhealthy for someone else.
Wow, me it was unhealthy because it was making me crazy. It was making me crazy. Ndakwana veli, then remember ya fresh ya 5 bob like fresh for veli 5 bob.
Okay, maybe that would work for me.
It would work for you.
It would work.
Wow. Okay. For me, it got toxic really fast, so I decided to kind of like let that go because it wasn't working per se. But in terms of checking on what you spend on daily, it's easier to check on that when you spend a constant amount, and also if you budget at the beginning of the month. What do I mean? You get your salary, so you're getting a Nairobi salary of 30,000. So you get your 30,000. You budget what goes for rent. You budget what goes for food. Then what goes for transport and stuff like that. So per day, if you spend way too much on transport, you know you're overspending. Or if you buy something on the streets a week in a row, you know, me I'm overspending. Say that's a way to know if you're overspending or tracking your expenses.
Also avoid impulse buying.
Avoid things like when you're doing your budgeting, avoid under quoting things. If you underquote fare, you're like fare from Nairobi to like Some Kangundo Road is like 70 bob, and then you're underquoting that unajua kama si rush hour inaweza kuwa 50 bob, so nitaweka 50 bob per day.
Also include
miscellaneous. It's important to put miscellaneous in your budget because you never know what will take an extra amount. You never know. Vitu kama michango also arise because of miscellaneous. So tracking your daily expenditures, you can either do it the way that I used to do it, carry a book around and note down everything. You notice you spend a lot on
that's the best way to start on it.
That's the best way to start before you develop a mentality of being aware of how you spend money. Before you start developing that mentality, it may not be very easy to notice how you're spending your money.
Okay, I think on keeping track on what I spend on a daily basis, I just try to work on a strict budget. Okay, today I'm supposed to go to town. Just go to town, come back. Okay, if I don't intended to buy anything, then I won't buy. Then also doing that monthly budget that you talked about. Also, at times you have to write. Okay, I'm going to town and this is what I'm buying.
And stick to the list. Don't just write.
And also just avoid impulse. We've talked about impulse. I know it's hard
and it still affects us.
It still affects us, but just try to avoid impulse buying. It will help you a lot. And maybe it can also be a good way of saving. If you'd planned, now I'm using like 100 bob fare to town, then miraculously you go to the bus and it's 50 bob because it's off peak. that 50 bob, you can use it for your savings. Yeah, and that's why I encourage people to have home banks. I have a home bank, by the way.
You do?
Yep. So when you have like that, is it loose
home
change?
banks is a good thing.
Yeah. Is it a loose change or loose cash? Yeah, you can put it there.
Jugieka mali, you can access it again.
And you can access it anytime. Plus,
you'll pull those little coins.
So when you have that extra cash, let's say you budgeted this month, I'm going to use like 20 G's, 15. When you use like 10,000, the 5 G's, put them in a home bank. And I'm sure when you'll be budgeting for the whole month, you also budget for your savings. Now the general savings, your chamas, banks if you're in a circle. So this loose cash that you're remaining with, you can put it in a home bank and later on, it'll
come through.
Yeah.
We really underestimate the power of 20 bob a day. After even do 20 times 300. How much is that? 6,000. Imagine 20 bob a day for not even all the days of the year, just 300 of them. You have 6K.
Wow.
That you could have spent on sijui mutura. Asisemi mskule mutura, but yeah, if you learn the culture of putting some away, you'll end up with money that you didn't even know you spend.
Okay. Also, something about finances that you are learning is just live within your means. So, Christopher, would you break down for us? Let's say you're earning 30 G's. How would you go about it? Like, break it down and save this and this amount, this on rent, this on food, and probably remain with some little change.
Okay, so living within your means if you're earning 30,000 a month without any alternative source of income, might be a side hustle, or for some people a mubaba. If you sorry, I had to do that. That was a little bit petty, I'm sorry. So if you have 30K a month, this is the money that's ride or die. This is the money that you have. With 30K a month, personally, I would live in a house that, okay, I used to say that at ECG, there was a percentage that I used to think of in terms of rent, but I've realized in Nairobi, hey,
It's either you
a
pay
decent house, yeah, you either pay a lot of money, like
on
rent
and
on like
spend
9K, spend less on other things, rather than risking it, living in a place that is insecure. You're gonna keep replacing your appliances or stuff like that. So it's like in Nairobi, you invest for safety, you know. So say I've realized over the years, say spend something from 7 to 8K on rent, because in Nairobi that is. In some other towns it may be a bit cheaper. You can get a good house at 5K.
Or rather, in Nairobi, 8K that's for bed sitter, but in other places that's a 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom.
Imagine it's a to be in other places.
Okay, so with 30K, 8,000 on rent.
Okay, I haven't tried there. There's obviously 3K that goes to tithe, so I have 27K left. So, and because I like to balance things out, let's say that 7K is going for rent, so I have 20K left. 20K is a lot of money. Okay, we think it's kidogo, but it's a lot of money. Depending on how much you spend on transport, do the math for your transport. 100 a day times 30 days. Let's say you're spending 52, 54. That would be 3,000 or 6,000 if you're spending 100 going 100 to back. That's 6,000. You still have 14,000 left. Okay, you've budget for something like food bulk shop, bulk shop. And if you need to do anything
and this
weekly,
can come from your savings.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know. I've
Yeah,
used
later.
savings for bulk shopping.
Maybe at the beginning of the year, I have a friend who shops at the beginning of the year, shops like for the whole year. Kinda. Like, okay, non-perishable. Yeah, something like soap.
And I shop for the, like buy a whole box or something.
Okay,
So you
even if
never
it's
have
not
to
for
think
the whole
about
year,
it.
at least 6
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about it.
Yeah, I think I've met people who shop for like half a year. And that's a good way to go about it. So put your shopping, your kashope of essentials, and maybe baby girl things like, so I don't know what. You had 14,000 left out of the initial amount. Even if you spend 10,000 on shopping and you maybe sending some money home or something, you can still save 4,000. 4,000 is a good amount per month.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that's
In a nutshell,
my
she's already
breakdown.
explained. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
already explained. So learn to live within your means. Another thing we've learned about finances so far. Yes, as much as
sorry, let me interrupt you. Don't live in a house worth 20,000 and you're earning 30,000. You're gonna be running on negatives most of your life.
Okay, in a nutshell, that means just live within your means. And another thing we've learned about saving is that you are earning. Yeah, don't just limit yourself to savings and investments. Also have fun.
Ooh. I hadn't thought of it that way.
Yeah, also have fun. Have some time for yourself. Take yourself out. Jibambe na mabeshte, as Christopher has said, have an entertainment fund. Out of the 4,000 that's left, ukichukua punch, work as entertainment fund. In 4 months, you can treat yourself with something good.
A date to KFC, a solo date to KFC or a double date. Okay, the essence of investing in entertainment, as much as you invest in something else, is to keep you sane. You can't constantly be working. Na urudishi mwili pole. You're gonna get frustrated really fast, and it's gonna also affect your ability to be productive. So once in a while, save for something that you kind of like. Like, unaona, in that breakdown I've given, for 10k, if you're living alone, 10k is a lot.
Okay, I talked about the 4k that's remaining. Who told you you're supposed to save the whole 4k?
Yeah, you can put 1k aside for your...
Also, as we wind up, another thing we've learned about saving, about money, finances so far, money will never be enough. Yeah, you have to keep on. Okay, the more you spend it, the more you get the urge to look for more money. So I'd encourage you, if you're getting money, don't be a miser that your money is just seated in the bank.
Don't
spend
have scarcity mentality.
And also, something we mentioned earlier on, have multiple many ways of income.
Diversify your income. In such a case where you're working at a single job that's only giving you 30k, find out something that you can do that doesn't necessarily require so much time from you, but something you can do on the side, such that tell people online that you want to go to Gikomba and get them tops, and they give you a little bit of stipend. I mean,
start a YouTube channel.
Well, we're not earning yet, but find a way, find an alternative.
Something else. Lastly, also things that you'd not budgeted for in a month will always come up. Things like michangos. Okay, maybe your mom has an emergency at home and she needs you to bail her out. And maybe things will always come up. So as much as you want to strictly stick to your budget, and that's the reason why we say
you should always account for the unknown.
Yeah. Okay, do you have anything else to add on that?
I think I'm done. On finances, let's just say you think relationships are character development. Wait until finances character develop you. You will learn how to handle them better. I think finances and money, it's like a clingy girlfriend. You really think your relationship, you have a clingy person until you meet money, and it's like, if you don't treat me well, I'm gonna just leave. Yeah, so you learn how to, the best thing possible is to learn how to have a good relationship with money, so that you don't stress out so much or be broke all the time. Being broke is also inevitable.
We'd forgotten to mention something. Okay, that one we have to mention before we go. In the next 2 or 3 minutes. We'd forgotten to mention about black tax.
No, but I think we've talked about it in an earlier video. Have we?
Okay, but in terms of finances, it's still affecting us so far. Okay, that's why we talked about.
Most people don't have enough money,
especially people who still have siblings, like younger siblings. I've seen them.
Black tax is a struggle.
Yeah, black tax is a struggle. So, no, like have your Atena should be very alert. Know where like if the money is really a need, then you can spend it. But if it's a want, don't.
With money, the best thing you can do for yourself is never make an emotional decision. Always make sure it's logical. So if your reason for giving someone money is, what would they think? They're depending on me, like, I feel bad about not giving them money. That's not a logical reason, and ultimately it's gonna make you be spending so much money than you can afford.
You
it needs to be logical.
I came to I don't know if I was reading somewhere or I had someone say this. This mentality maybe Ocha people have in Christmas or something. Yeah. So, for example, like, okay, you are used to probably buying for them for Christmas. They Is it like that or what? Okay, what I mean is, with or without you, that Christmas would have come and passed. Now maybe kama wangetaka nguo za Christmas, they could have sorted themselves out. So they shouldn't depend on you that much. So learn to differentiate. If they can do without it, then you don't have to give
If an event can occur without your input, let's say you're planning a travel, this is something that I face quite a lot. So if you're planning to travel somewhere and you feel the need to put aside, I don't know, like 20k for that travel, if that travel can still happen with 2k, learn to take the 2k option.
Yeah.
Don't put too much pressure on yourself because it can still happen the other way.
I think as much as we say black tax is something that affects us outwardly, it also, it's something also that is within us. You can also create your own black tax. Yes.
You can also put yourself in an uncomfortable situation financially.
Yep. Yep. And also, one last point. This is the last one. Avoid people, in terms of friendships, avoid people who are parasites.
Ni ukweli though, ni ukweli.
Yep. I think I'm done.
That was your point to move on haraka sana, but I don't think we've talked about it is enough. Parasiting is we're not talking about symbiotic relationships. Symbiotic relationship is where I help you, you help me. But parasitic is where you always have that person who's only clinging to you for money. Veli nitumika so. Veli nitumia yaki sauce na credo. You know, and a few minutes ago you were seeing them flossing by yogurt. I have nothing against by yogurt. You were seeing them flossing by yogurt on the status and you're like, honey, you could have bought Daima yogurt and afforded that 100 bob for your credit. So if there are people in your circle who feel are mismanaging your finances, it's time you don't have to cut them off, but you can draw some lines.
Yeah, just have boundaries.
Have boundaries.
Yeah, that's it.
See, must.
Or also, you can just avoid hanging out with them. Not that you break the friendship completely, but avoid situations that can bring you together.
That compromise your pockets. Because you are protecting the pocket. We are getting the bag and protecting it. Don't just get the bag, protect it as well. Yeah.
And also, let's learn to be our brother's keepers. Yeah, that's very important in terms of finances. Like, maybe when we're together, I shouldn't allow you to overspend. And now not anyway, we said I overspend.
Really does that. Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah. I should at least try to hit some sense. Sometimes when you can be having money and you're head over heels to it, that's like I want to
shopping money.
Yeah, try. Like for instance, if I go somewhere and my friend wants to, and I know she's in a capacity to buy me something expensive, I'll go for the cheap one. At times, yes.
How do you do that?
Yeah. So that's it for today, guys.
Bye.
Remember to
subscribe.